Oh, there we go. Hey, runners, how's it going? Welcome to day three of Let's Write a Song. Looks kind of blurry, right? Hey, I'm right here. Come on. There we go. All right. So, first off, yeah, I have the poster and I have the shirt. Who's not to like Macca? All right. So, working on it a little bit more. I think yesterday we're somewhere around this, I think, sort of thing. You think about yourself and about, I think that we changed from a B to a G yesterday. So think about yourself. And this is where we were with B. So and that was only after we decided to drop that high D. So I think when we might have started it with something like, all right, which said a little too bright, right? Kind of a little smaltzy. So drop it down to a D, B, A, D, and that's okay. But started to say, well, let's change that B to a G, and started to get a little bit better of a groove going. Oh, that's where we arrived. So I think I kind of like that. All right. Well, with a little bit more writing, decided to get rid of that A from there and save it so we can come off of it. So we get so I kind of like that for our chorus here, and then maybe there'll be some stuff. So lyrics getting a little bit more work through. So we got here's where we're at. Well, you think about yourself and anybody else. So how can you care about me? That whole thing of how can you care about me is bringing it back to something more personal. So we like that a little bit more. It's not the way I choose it. I'm about to lose you. I'm still thinking of you. Well, I kind of like it coming out that better than the. Maybe we'll save that for our outro still. Kind of a little bit different at the end. Um, so it's not the way I choose it. I'm about to lose it. Well, yeah, maybe. But I'm still thinking of you. I kind of like that it's a little bittersweet. So here, if we're thinking about our lyrics, we've got somebody who's probably a little bit of a narcissist. And, you know, despite our better inclinations, we're still thinking of, okay, so how can you care about me? Got it. Personalizing it. It's not the way I choose it. I'm about to lose it. Hmm, seems a little easy. I'm not sure I like that I'm about to lose it part because it doesn't tie to that I'm still thinking of you. So that line is probably going to get some rework. But in the meantime, we got a little bit of structure for our chorus. So, well, you think about yourself and nobody else. So how can you care about me? Well, it's not the way I choose it. I'm about to lose it, but I'm still thinking of you. All right, so now we go into our chorus. Now, while you recline, we're personalizing it again. So we talked about recline, and we started with like stuff in faces and watching suffering. But with the idea of personalizing it, how can you care about me? So here we're going to say watching me suffering because we suffer. Makes some sense, yeah. So now while you recline, watching me suffering, and now I got placeholder lyrics. I could never believe it to be true. You told me I was the problem. The only problem I see here is you. Mm. But we got to go back into our course, and I will. I'm thinking about yourself and anybody else. How can you care about me? Well, it's not the way I choose it. I'm about to lose it. I'm so sick of you. When you need it from time to time, you're on the wrong side of it. No, maybe you'll find you're on the wrong side of it. And maybe you change what you do. Something else goes right here. I don't know if that line's gonna be. But yeah, I like going for that high A, but I think coming off the verse every time that's going to be a little bit much. So if we back it up, so anyway, that was the bridge on the tail end. Got a lot of work to do on the lyrics there, but the arrangement's working okay. Yeah, so we got our verse. Now while you climb, watching me suffering, I could never believe it to be true. You told me, here's some of you need more beats there. So you keep telling me I'm the problem, but the only problem I see here is you. Well, that's what. All right, maybe that works. You keep telling me instead of you told me. So let's update that. You keep telling me, and yeah, I'm on to making the updates in Word at this point because if you look on our original Scratch lyrics, it's getting really messy now. So this is the page. This is the page I've been making all the edits on. This is all extra lyrics for other verses and things that we'll try to figure out later. So this is really hard to follow on this point. So we moved on to writing it in Word, which will make it way easier when it's time to record. So anyway, we've got some working parts, and I think we found that we're dropping the A at the end, a low A at the end of that verse. Now, I kind of liked adding that A7A bit. So here we're going. Now while you recline, watching me suffering, I shook my head. No, it can't be true. No, I couldn't believe it to be true. I'll work on that. Something about be true. I like the be true part. I could never believe it to be true. It's changing our tense. Now, while you recline watching me suffering, I can never, Mhm. I never believed. Now, while you recline is current. So that's present state. While you recline. We could change it to now while you reclined watching me suffering. I kind of like that it's an active thing though, while you reclined. Is it true? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. You keep telling me I'm the problem. Like that little end bit. Gives us a little space. The only problem I see is, yeah, okay. Works okay. Well, I think about yourself and nobody else. How can you care about me? That was not the way I treated. I'm about to lose it up. I'm still thinking of you. And it's interesting. So this is the bar G. This is the open G. Open G. You hear a little bit more on the low. These are the low G tuning right here on this. So on a ukulele, G, C, E, A, and most people will have high G on this one. I like the low G, gives a little bit more gravitas. And there's a whole different thing I'm doing to my ukulele setup that's different from most. First off, it's a tenor. It's not a ukulele that's a soprano. Most of the sopranos are the small ones you see. They go blink a blink a blink. That's the traditional sound. Hey, it's great if you love it. I like mine to be a little bit more rocking, so I got that tenor and I got that low G, and I've done some other stuff with the string formula to get it to be other stuff, including a wound C. Anyway, when you play a bar G, feels real good. Loud. You'll notice I pick up my finger a lot, and it's like sort of like when you don't have a bass player with you, right? You get a little bit more counterplay off the chord. Maybe it inspires a little bit of opportunities for riffs. So when you're holding the chord in place, maybe you can mess with it to add some little flourishes that are sort of a riff. Anyway, so I think when we go to that open G, it starts to still kind of be a little bit bright for where we are right now. For our ending, still all right. Okay, so we got some working parts. Let's see if we can go chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, and see where that takes us. So, without figuring out our intro, without figuring out where there's going to be musical interlude or so, just see how these parts are together. A lot of it's in the arrangement, and then as you notice, I'm still working on the lyrics. You just keep working on them until they don't suck. But with all of it, don't spend too much time. The law of depreciating returns, very much a thing with songwriting and most other things in our life. Depreciating returns, kind of when you're hitting that wall. Um, I was raised with the whole no pain, no gain was what we said when we went to the gym. And hey, we've learned since then that pain means you might be hurting yourself. So yeah, you can put a little bit more effort into certain things, and you should try to push boundaries a little bit. But if we keep hitting that wall, and we keep hitting that wall, sort of wrapping your head up against it, it's a little bit of insanity because that's our definition of repeating the same thing. So when we get there, maybe we break through the wall, but boy, we're worse for wear, and we got a lot less production out of doing that than if we just eased off a little bit. And one of the big secrets, I think, to songwriting, at least the way I go about it. Now, listen, there's many a song that is a hit song that was written in 10 minutes. And that's astounding to me. Maybe one day, with a whole lot of concerts and studio time, there'll be that moment where there's a clever producer with me and we nail that 10-minute hit. And gosh, wouldn't that be wonderful? But a lot of songs are crafted over time. And some of them from its inspiration to the final mix, months, right? We're gonna try to turn this around more like in a month. That's my normal production schedule. A lot of the people that are doing it months tend to be writing multiple songs at one time. I find that is difficult for me to switch gears into other songs. So I kind of work one along until like I get it to a place where we're in a reasonable point before I start the other one. Now, a reasonable point, that might be somewhere in the recording process. That might be while waiting for mix stuff to happen. Usually the latter, actually. But early on, like this, where we're working on lyrics and arrangement, I'm not writing another song. I'm just trying to make this one not suck. And that's my big trick with the songwriting thing. Keep working it until it doesn't suck. Sometimes it still does, but get to a point of conclusion, right? Now, there's another bit of songwriting advice I read somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but it was this thing of, oh, I think it was actually Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Yeah, I think that's the story I read. Uh, Said to try to finish what you start. think that's tremendous advice because how many times have you heard about people having started something and then they just left it on the table and it did nothing? Um, and oftentimes they don't come back to it. When we hear about all that stuff in the vault of musicians, the unfinished ones, those are the ones where you're just like, song fragment a little bit. And if you produce enough, that can be interesting little odds and ends. But if you're working on that song, finish it off for what it is. And in terms of whether it's very good or whether it sucks or whether it's a hit, well, it's one of those things of art being in the eye of the beholder. It's no real rhyme or reason to it. Some people love it and some people hate it, and you just try to make the best of what it is. You yourself might love it or you might hate it. Sometimes you really love it while you're doing it, and then in retrospect, you kind of hate it. There's been songs I've written that are like that, where they got to a point where the labor of love was gone and it was just labor. And even though the end result might be okay, my memory of trying to get it across that finish line kind of taints it for me, and I don't love the song anymore. Um, there's a song off one of our albums called "The Sum of Our Mistakes," and that's definitely one that perhaps the title gives away. Yeah, I do not love that song anymore. It was just too damn hard finishing off. Every little tweak we tried to make to get it to work ended up being something where I just couldn't listen to it anymore. And in turn, I don't play it. Um, Maybe some people like it. I don't know. Let me know. But in any sense, we're on to the next thing. So, what's always my favorite song that I've written? Is usually the one that I've just written. I love the one that I'm working on now is always my favorite. It's the best. Because I'm an optimist in that way. You got to root for yourself here. So if you're working on a song, you can't start with "it's gonna suck." You can't start with "it does suck." Although somewhere in this process, definitely going to say that a few times. But I'll then stop because I've hit that wall and let it breathe a little bit and come back to it. And that's where there's a bit of magic. The song kind of comes out of the ether like you're channeling it. So as we're playing along, we're going da 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 da. Well, sometimes a word drops out. Sometimes a phrase comes out. Sometimes the fingers just go to a different spot and we go, hey, that was kind of neat. And we'll work it in and we'll try it out, see if it makes the final cut. But we just keep working it. So there's a thing that Michelangelo is accredited for saying, I believe, that the sculpture was always there inside the block of marble, and he just spent time freeing it. The story goes, as I've heard it, that he was commissioned to make a statue. Let's assume it was David. Any sense? He shows up for days with lunch and sits on a bench and stares at the thing and does nothing. And one of the people who are there to, I guess, a guard or something, finally asked him about it, like, hey, when are you going to get to work? He's like, well, that's what I've been doing. Like, all you've done is come in and stare at the thing and eat lunch. He's like, oh, the sculpture's always there. I just have to figure out how best to free it from the marble. Now, true or not, it's a pretty cool idea. So that whole thing of an artistic inspiration just kind of happening, I think, makes some of the better art. So here, whenever we're writing something, that's what we try to remember. Don't be too hard on yourself. Let it happen. And when you're getting nowhere, don't keep batting your head against that wall. Maybe just give it a break. It's a lesson we could all use. So we're going to keep trying together to make this not suck. And on day 3, we've got some parts. Here we go for our run through. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Well, you think about yourself and nobody else. So how can you get about me? Well, it's not the way I choose it. I'm about to lose it. I'm still thinking of you. Now you wild and you clown, watching me suffering. I can never believe it to be true. Okay, get that. Keep telling me I'm the problem, but the only problem I see here is you. You think about yourself and nobody else. But how can you care about me? Well, it's not the way I choose to. I'm about to lose you, but I'm still thinking of you. When it might be in time, you find yourself on the wrong side of it. Maybe you change what you do. Something else is here. Screw you. Well, think about yourself and about else. How can you think about me? What's the point that you think I'm about to lose you, but I'm still thinking of you. Well, hey, I kind of like that little. Yeah, that's nice. I like it more than that, but we'll keep that because I like that bit. It's going to have to happen somewhere. But before we forget that whole AGD thing, which is what that last that was. We're gonna have to write that one down. That belongs somewhere. I don't know where, but AGD. We're gonna keep it. We'll find a place for it. I don't know. In some ways, it's better than that A7A little flourish in the end of in that one part of the chorus. I don't know. In any sense, that's how this writing goes. We've got bits. Sorry, word formatting was freaking me out for a second there. Okay, so let's just try it without lyrics for a second and see how it flows. Ready? Hmm. Okay, so that G again before the yeah. All right, so we're gonna use that towards the end. I think it's a nice little finish that works together. But I feel like I'm playing the chorus too many times, so I think we're gonna cut the chorus repeating after the verse. So we had chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, verse, chorus. And do the solo over the verse. I think we got to spread that chorus thing out a little bit. Now we're going to finish with the chorus. Happens a lot. But we started with it, so that whole head and tail thing is kind of cool. We got beginning with the chorus, finishing with the chorus. That might be okay. I don't think we're going to do a double chorus on the end of this one, but maybe it's verse, bridge, verse for musical bridge, and then another verse. Hmm. and then we go chorus. But now you're just getting chorus at the beginning and the end, and that's it. All right, well, let's just imagine that it's like that. Let's play it through with just that as an idea. Ready? I'm gonna repeat the verse. So, well, you think about yourself and nobody else. So how can you care about me? Well, it's not the way I choose it. I'm about to leave you, but I'm still thinking of you. Now, while you crying, watching me suffering, I can never leave it to be true. You keep telling me I'm the problem, but the only problem here is you. You made me you're on the wrong side of it. Yeah, things all you do. There's something else goes here with me. So right, oh, baby, if something is true, can you believe it's true? Well, thinking about you and nobody else. So how can you think about me? Well, it's not the way I choose it. I'm about to leave, but I'm still thinking of you. Why are you crying, watching me suffering? I can never easy get to the truth. You can tell me I'm the problem. The only problem I see is you. What you think about yourself, how you think about yourself, and nobody else. So how can you care about me? It's not the way I choose it, and I'm about to lose it, but I'm still thinking of you. All right. So you see, we're thinking about arrangement a little bit. Where these bits fit together. Um, so we go chorus, verse, bridge. That time I ended up doing a chorus, and then there was the little versey sort of solo music going on the section. Then we go verse, chorus again. Might be all right because I think coming out of the bridge straight into another verse is going to be a little too sparse. Um, so, hey, we worked on it together, and we made some ground. I think got to spend some time at lyrics a little bit more. I still don't love I'm about to lose it, but it might work. I don't know. Keep trying. And verse a little bit choppy, and really try and nail that first verse to something that works, and the bridge. The next verse that comes after it will get. I think we're at that part where we're trying to figure out what the hell the song is, and it seems like it's a little bit about somebody who's tired of being gaslit. They don't like that narcissist that they're in a relationship. Um, remember, it started with me getting cut off in traffic. So yeah, there's always that. Um, I don't know. I kind of like that it's upbeat. That's fun. I like that little bridge part with the minor. So we'll see where it goes. Be back tomorrow, day 3, and we're making some progress on this. If you got suggestions, drop them in the comments. Thanks for watching.